Hello friends, welcome back to Relief Tutorials. In the previous lecture we have discussed about some separating methods of mixtures. First one we have seen evaporation, which is normally used to separate one of the liquid volatile substance from the mixture. Secondly we have seen centrifugation process, which is used for separation of colloidal particles from the solution. The apparatus which is used, the device which is used for the centrifugation process is called as centrifuge. Thirdly, we have seen separation by using separating funnel method, which is normally used for the separation of mixture of two or more immiscible liquids. Immiscible liquids means the liquids having the difference in their densities, so they are not mixed up. Fourth process we have seen sublimation process, which is used for the separation of a solid volatile component. Solid volatile component means sublime, means the substance which can directly convert from solid to gas or from gas to solid. Now the fifth process which we are going to understand today is chromatography. The name of the process is chromatography. Chromatography. The word here chroma means color. This method firstly used for the separation of colors. That is why this method is later on given the name as chromatography. This is the process which is used for separation of solute components soluble in same solvent with different solubility. Complicated statement this is, very hard to understand, but let me explain you. For example, if you think about salt and sugar, we know that salt and sugar both are soluble in water. Now if you take 100 ml of water in two different glasses, both contains 100 ml of water. Now having the same temperature, let us say 25 degrees Celsius, 25 degrees Celsius. So this is the solvent having the same physical characteristics. Temperature is same, the amount of solvent is also same. Now you dissolve 5 gram of salt in this and 5 gram of sugar in this. So what do you think? Both going to dissolve in the same time? I think no. Maybe salt dissolve faster than the sugar. Are you getting my point? If you say, see, salt and sugar, just I am taking the example. Many substances are soluble in water. So if you take 4 substances, A, B, C and D. So what do you think? These 4 substances, which is actually soluble in the same solvent. Water is the solvent you are going to use. So A, B, C, D are the 4 different substances which are soluble in water. So what do you think? When you start to dissolve them, are they going to dissolve in the same time? Never. Every substance having its own solubility, means speed to dissolve in solvent. Okay, so here this chromatography method is used for the separation of the solute components soluble in the same solvent. Salt, sugar are the solute components which are soluble in the same solvent. Now consider you have one of the mixture. Let us say this mixture is ink. Ink means what? It is water plus colored dyes. Let us say it contains three different types of colored components, A, B and C, and then the ink is formed. Many types of inks are available in the market, different colors. So it is not always necessary that each and every ink is made up of water and only one of the color. No, it may be made up of water and plus 2 or 3 different colored components. Okay, so these are the three. We can say that these three colored components, all these three are the dye particle. Dye means colored components. So all these three are soluble in the same solvent. They are dissolved in same solvent. Are you getting my point? Now how can you differentiate water and three dye particles? So first of all, do you know that we have taken the example in the case of evaporation? In the case of evaporation, what we can do? You can gradually heat this ink and water will be evaporated. So once the water get evaporated, what you will left? You have only the mixture of three dye particles. So when you have just left the mixture of three dye particles, now here is the question that how can you separate these three? Okay, we know here that all these three which are soluble in the same solvent, but their solubility is always different. So for such type of combination, for such type of mixture, we have the process called chromatography, and actually the process which we are going to study here was first used for the separation of dyes only in the practical life also. That is why the name is given as chromatography. Okay, now what we do here, consider here is, this is water. Okay, one of the filter paper you are taking, let me draw the diagram sidewise. Let us say this is one of the filter paper you have taken, and on that filter paper you have made a dot like this. Dot of what? This is the dot of one of the color. Let us say right now on the white paper I have done the color with the red pen. So this is red dot, and this is the ink of the pen. So this ink contains dye particles. Real example. This is the pen. See, the red pen I am using here. Okay, so this is the red dot. I have black pen also. So if I made the dot by the black pen also, whatever I can do, but whatever the dot I am making the dot means what? It contains dye particles. And these 2 or 3 dye particles, let us assume that 3 different types of dye particles are present, A, B and C. Just for the sake of understanding, let us consider I am overlapping the black color here. So now what is this? This is a dot made up of how many colors? 2 colors, red and black. So red and black, 2 colors are present here now, and they are overlapped. Now how can you separate them? How can you separate black and the red color? So now take this filter paper here. Keep the filter paper like this. Like this, and how some part of filter paper is dipped inside the water, and the dot should not touch water surface. The dot which is containing 2 colors simultaneously, red and the black. So this dot contains 2 types of particles, red and black. So now just keep the dot slightly above the water level. Slightly above the water level. Look at this. The water is not going to touch here. The dot is slightly above. Now because this is filter paper, it is going to absorb water. So as the water goes up, what happens? Gradually the water level increases up to here, and water level still increases and it touched the dot. But because the filter paper has a tendency to absorb water, so it absorbs the water up to certain height. But when the water particles goes in the upward direction, the dot means the ink particles, the dye particles when came in contact. Now we have two colored particles are there, red and black. Now out of these two, the dye particles which is more soluble in water will move with water towards the upward direction. Consider after some time the water level is up to here. Consider after some time the water level is up to here, and maybe the black color particles are more soluble. So black color particles reach maybe up to this point, and the red particles which are less soluble, so it goes slowly and they may reach up to this level. So can you see that both the colors can be separated? Here both were at the same place, but as the water goes up, as the water goes in the upward direction, the particle which is more soluble out of these two, red and black, the dye particles which is more soluble with the water, which goes it rushes faster after water, and the less one will remain behind. Is that clear? So this way the colors can get separated. See, don't misunderstand that this process chromatography is always used for the separation of colors. No, this process is totally scientific, and it is prepared on the basis of the solubility of the solutes soluble in the same solvent. So this can be used at many places, just like first use to separate drugs from blood. Drugs here in the sense medicines. So whatever the type of medicine you are taking continuously, those particles are mixed with the blood. So while doing some medical checkup of the blood, so first of all they have to remove the drug particle which is already present in the blood. So to remove those drug particles from the blood, chromatography is used. Second use is this one, natural color pigments, means color pigments to separate pigments from dyes or the natural colors. Means to separate such type of 2 or 3 different type of colors from the dyes. So this way, this method is used on the basis of solute components soluble in the same solvent with the different solubilities. The uses are given in your textbook also, you can remember them. Next type of process is distillation process. Distillation process is used to separate two or more miscible liquids. Miscible liquids means what? They are going to mix up with each other. Just like water and alcohol mixed up with each other. We have taken the example of immiscible liquids, water and kerosene. They do not get mixed with each other, so they were immiscible. But if you have the mixture of 2 or more miscible liquids, then you can use this distillation process. Let us take the example that I have the mixture of water and alcohol. So this is the mixture of two miscible liquids. So first of all, we take this mixture in the flask. Okay, the mixture is taken here in the flask. The mixture is of water and alcohol. Okay, just to note the temperature, let us say this is the thermometer inserted. Now let us say we are heating this mixture. Initially temperature was 25-30 degrees Celsius. As we are heating, the temperature increases. Water's boiling point is 100 degrees Celsius. We know it, boiling point. And alcohol having the boiling point nearly about 78 degrees Celsius. These are the two boiling points. Now both these boiling points are different, obviously. So using these characteristics, let us consider we are heating this, and at the when the temperature reaches 78 degrees Celsius, what happens? When the temperature reaches 78 degrees Celsius, the vapors of alcohol will start forming. Vapors of alcohol will start forming, but there is no way to come outside except this one. This is condensation tube, which is actually surrounded by the continuous water flowing cylinder to make the condensation tube cooler. There are two ways, and water is continuously flowing around this thin condensation tube. This is what? Condensation tube. Okay, so this condensation tube is actually surrounded by the water flowing cylinder. Here there is continuous flowing of water around the condensation tube to make the tube cooler. Now this is the vapor. Let us say this is 78 degrees Celsius temperature. Alcohol vapors are forming here. That alcohol vapors enters in the condensation tube, and because of the temperature of this tube is lower because of the cool water flowing around it, so the alcohol again condensed and again converted into liquid form, and they can be collected here. Obviously at 78 degrees Celsius there will be no vapor of water will be here. So whatever the vapor is coming out at the 78 degrees Celsius, that will be the vapor of alcohol. So this way it can be collected on the beaker. As the temperature increases from 78 to 79, it means there is no alcohol left. You will see the liquid level also decreases. Now again temperature starts to increases. Replace the beaker. New beaker you can place here, because already you have collected alcohol. Now there is water left in the flask. Now again the temperature increases from 78 to 79, 80, and as the temperature reaches to 100 degrees Celsius, vapors of water starts to form, and that vapor again enters in the condensation tube. Condensation tube condense that water vapor, and again you can collect the water, pure water. This water which is collected here is called as distilled water, and the purity of distilled water is 99.5%. That water is called as distilled water. So at the end of the process, some impurities may left here, that is the impurity. So in this way, two purposes are solved here. One, you have separated these two. Second, you have made the water distilled. Is that clear? So this is nothing but the simple distillation process. This process can be used when there is a difference in the boiling point of the two liquid is nearly 25 Kelvin, means nearly 25 degrees Celsius. The difference I am talking about. This is not the boiling points. This is the boiling point differences between the two liquids. Just like here, the difference between these two is nearly 22 degrees Celsius or 22 Kelvin. Difference will be same. So difference in the boiling point must be nearly 25 Kelvin or more. Then only you can use this simple distillation process. If the boiling point difference between these two, let me use the example for the complete understanding. Let us say I have the mixture of three different liquids, A, B and C. The boiling point of A is 50 degrees Celsius. Do you know 50 degrees Celsius means how many Kelvin? You have to add 273. To convert degree Celsius to Kelvin, you add 273. So that will be the Kelvin. So I think it is 323 Kelvin. Okay. So what is the temperature of, what is the boiling point of A? I am telling to you, the boiling point of A is 50 degrees Celsius, means 323 Kelvin. Boiling point of B, let us say it is 100 degrees Celsius, means it is 373 Kelvin temperature. Let us say boiling point of C is 125 degrees Celsius. Okay, so it is almost 125, so I think it is plus 25, so it is 398 Kelvin temperature. Okay, so I have the mixture of three liquids having the boiling point in terms of Celsius is 50 degrees Celsius, 100 degrees Celsius and 125 degrees Celsius. So what is the difference in the boiling points of these two? It's 50, and difference here in these two is 25. The same thing you can think for the Kelvin. What is the difference in the boiling point temperature between these two? It's 50 Kelvin. The difference will remain same. Okay, and here also it's 25. So can you separate these three by the distillation process? Yes, because the boiling point temperature difference is nearly 25 Kelvin or more than that. Now again, consider the boiling point of A. Another example, let us say the boiling point of A is 50 degrees Celsius, boiling point of B is 55 degrees Celsius and boiling point of C is 65 degrees Celsius. So the boiling point difference here is not more than or nearly equal to 25 degrees Celsius or 25 Kelvin. I think here the boiling point difference is quite small, and that is only 5 degrees Celsius, and here it is only 10. So these three cannot be easily separated by simple distillation process. For that we have to use fractional distillation process. So this distillation process can only be used when the boiling point difference is 25 Kelvin between the two or three miscible liquids. If the boiling point difference is not more than that or not nearly 25 Kelvin, we have to use the fractional distillation process. In the fractional distillation process, the process is quite slight, not quite, but the slight different than these. And in these, what we do, first of all, for example, we have a mixture of three miscible, let us say 4 miscible liquids having the boiling point difference is quite small, means that is not equivalent to 25 degrees Celsius. Okay, then what we do, first of all these three are in which state? This is what the mixture of 4 liquids. First of all, they are heated and converted into mixture, heated and converted into mixture of gases. Let me compare this with the original distillation process. This was the distillation process we have seen recently. In this we have the mixture of two, water and alcohol. In which state they were? Liquid. Then what we have done? We have heated, okay, and one by one two liquids taken out. Which one you have taken out first? Which one? Alcohol? Yes. Why? Because it is having the lower boiling point. So obviously it will be taken out first. So in the distillation process, we don't convert the whole mixture into gaseous first. No, we are not doing that. We are not converting the whole mixture in the gaseous. We are converting one by one component in the gaseous state, again condensed and taken out. But here in the case of fractional distillation process, if we have the mixture of liquids, here also we had a mixture of liquids, here also if we have the mixture of liquids, first we heat it and convert into mixture of gases, and then we cool them gradually and we convert them into liquid state again. Here if you see, here we are, note it, I am speaking again and again, in the simple distillation process, we are not converting the whole mixture into gaseous state first. We are converting one by one component into gaseous state, condensed and taken out. Gaseous state, condensed and taken out. Here, the substance will be taken out first having the lower boiling point. Means here, the substances will be taken out as in the increasing order of boiling points. For example, we have the mixture of A, B and C, having the boiling point 50, 100 and 125. So what you will do? You will take this mixture in the flask, heat them. So which component will be taken out first? I think this one. We are talking about simple distillation process because they are having the boiling point difference is nearly 25 Kelvin temperature. So here the 50 degrees Celsius component will be taken out first, then this one and then the last one. Because here in the simple distillation process, we are not converting the whole mixture into gaseous state first. So here we can say in the simple distillation process, components will be separated into its increasing order of boiling point. But here what would happen? Here the reverse process is there. First of all, you are converting the whole mixture into gaseous state. Consider D is having the highest boiling point, so till that temperature arrives, you have to heat that mixture. Then you can get the mixture of gases and then gradually you try to cool them. So here the components separated in the decreasing order of boiling point. Okay, consider the temperature of boiling point of A. Let us say the boiling point of A is 120, boiling point of B is 130 degrees Celsius, boiling point of C is 140 degrees Celsius, boiling point of D is 150 degrees Celsius. Okay, now what you will do? First of all, the boiling point of D is 150, boiling point of A is 120. So A get converted into gases at 120, B will be converted into gas at 130. The same way C at 140, D at 150. So if you want the whole mixture in the gaseous state, the temperature of the mixture of gases at least should be more than 150 degrees Celsius. Let us say that now the temperature of the whole mixture is 155 degrees Celsius. Okay, now try to cool them. Now gradually you will cool them, the temperature decreases. So as the temperature is 155, when you start to cool it slowly, 155 to 154 to 153 to 152 to 151, and as the temperature reach 150, D starts to convert into liquid state. So which component you are getting first? D1, because having the highest boiling point. Then the temperature reduced to 149, 148, 147. In the same way, when the temperature reach 140, C will be taken out. So which one you are taking out first? D, then C, then B, and then A. So that is what nothing but the decreasing order of boiling point. 150 first taken out, 140 second taken out, and this way. With the help of fractional distillation, you can separate the mixture of gases also. Let us consider you have the mixture of gases. Let us say A, B, C or D are the mixture of gases. Then what should be the procedure? What is the procedure to separate the mixture of liquids by the fractional distillation? You have to convert them into gaseous first, and then you cool and separate the component. Here the same thing, reverse direction. Here you have the mixture of what? Gas. So first of all you have to cool and you have to obtain the mixture of liquids. Quite interesting to know that if you have the mixture of liquids, you have to heat them and convert into mixture of gases. And if you have the mixture of gases and you want to make them separate, first of all you cool them and obtain the mixture of liquids first. And then you heat them or warm up. Okay, so you will gradually get the gaseous state again. Let's take the live example, the real example. Let us say I have the mixture of gases, let us say air. We know the air is a mixture of gases. Let us say I have some gases in the air. We know that, let us take 3 gases only. We know that number of gases are present. Let us say oxygen, argon and nitrogen. Boiling point of oxygen is minus 183 degrees Celsius. Of argon it is minus 186 degrees Celsius, and for nitrogen the boiling point is minus 196 degrees Celsius. The normal temperature of air is 25 degrees Celsius. Okay, so we have a mixture of these 3: oxygen, argon and nitrogen. So as per the method, first of all we have to cool and pressurize them. To convert them into liquid state. So the normal temperature is 25 degrees Celsius. Normal temperature is 25 degrees Celsius. You have to make it cool. Let us say the temperature is 0, but 0 is not the temperature is minus 183, minus 186 and minus 196. So 0 degrees Celsius, minus 50, minus 100, you are making cooler and cooler. So which temperature you will reach first? I think minus 183 degrees Celsius. So as the temperature reach minus 183 degrees Celsius, oxygen starts to convert into liquid state. Okay, then still cooler, minus 186 degrees Celsius, argon will be liquefied, and at minus 196 degrees Celsius, nitrogen will be liquefied. So first of all, you should obtain the mixture of gases and the temperature should be less than minus 196 degrees Celsius. Just for the example, let us say it is minus 198 degrees Celsius. So at minus 198 degrees Celsius temperature, you have the mixture of liquids. Which liquids you are having? Oxygen liquid or argon liquid and nitrogen liquid. And now you make them warm gradually. Okay, so minus 198 and then temperature increases to minus 197 and then the temperature reaches to minus 196. So as the temperature reaches minus 196, the liquid oxygen converts into gaseous state. Sorry, not oxygen, it is nitrogen. So which one you are taking out first? Nitrogen as a pure gas, in the form of pure gas. Then minus 196 temperature is still increases and goes to minus 186. So first, the pure substance you will obtain is nitrogen. Then the second pure you are getting oxygen, and the third pure you are getting The first pure substance you are getting what? Nitrogen, second pure is argon, and third pure will be the oxygen. Remember, first you are converting gaseous mixture into mixture of liquids. So when you are starting to liquefy them, which gas will be liquefied first? Oxygen. But which gas will be purified first? Nitrogen. Mind it. Okay, so when you warm it, gradually the components separated in the increasing order of boiling point. Here increasing order, here it was decreasing order because the process is reversed here. Here the first purified substance is nitrogen having the lowest boiling point. Then the argon having certain somewhat higher boiling point. Then the oxygen having the highest boiling point. See, more than enough or more than required information I have given you during these topics, because it is required to understand the topics clearly. Two only methods we have discussed today: chromatography and distillation. And in that distillation we have one more subtopic called fractional distillation, and this is the example of what? Separation of gases from air, which is given to you in your textbook. Please follow this whole topic from textbook, solve 2 or 3 blue color questions which are given to you, which is quite easy. Best of luck.